This is the Transformers Prime Predaking, and this is a figure I have very mixed feelings on. On one hand, it's a pretty cool and neat looking figure. On the other hand, there's quite a few things about it that I'm not really a big fan of, and we will get to those. Starting with the general aesthetics of the figure, he has a very jaggedy and menacing appearance to him that I really do like. As you can see, he's primarily a black and orange color with some bits of gold painted on him. There are also some orange paint applications, as you can see, for his arm and over here near this crotch piece. And then one major really cool thing about this figure is all the Cybertronian symbols on him. You have some on the wings, even more so on the other side of the wings. I do also like how the edge of the wings are designed like this. I don't like all these little marks over here though from the production of the figure. A few more Cybertronian symbols here, and we have some on his shoulders as well as his arms, and I believe, yeah, there are some on his legs as well, and some different ones on this side of the leg. I do like the asymmetry in the Cybertronian symbols. You have the ones on this side, but they're not on this side. Now, coming into the head of the figure, it looks interesting, and I am on macro mode on my phone right now, so it's gonna make it look a lot worse than it actually is. It's not a bad looking head sculpt. It is very jaggedy and it gives him a very menacing appearance. There's a really big thing with this figure that I don't like. A lot of the pieces for the head are made of this soft, flexible plastic, and I do not like that. That is my major concern with this figure. It also makes the transformation back into robot mode a bit awkward because the pieces will run into other parts of the figure and then bend the wrong direction. I really do hope a third-party company like APC Toys makes a knockoff of this that does away with these horrible bits. His little hands also have them, and I'm gonna talk more about these in a sec because they're terrible. If we turn the figure over to the back, a lot of the bits in the dragon head for the alt mode have them as well, and I don't like how you have to bring this up and get these bits of the dragon head to go through that. I do understand it's for safety reasons, but it does kind of hinder the figure because they're supposed to stick out, and it's very difficult to do. At some point I just kind of like give up on it, like I do with most things in life. I mean, you're not going to really be looking at the back anyways. Now, the way the chest of the figure looks is very interesting. He's just got a lot going on in the chest and abdomen area. Some more Cybertronian inscriptions there. A really nice looking Predacon insignia coming over to the shoulder. It's very nice and big. This piece really extends it out a bit. Once again, it adds to that menacing look. The rest of the arms kind of looking really cool in my opinion. And these hands do become the feet for the alt mode, which is why they're designed like this, but man, they're kind of terrible. They are also that soft plastic. He can't even hold his sword, which I will show later on. These do not function as hands, and the way it feels is just awful, just like my YouTube channel. Make sure to leave a like on the video. Coming over to the rest of his crotch piece, it does have this medieval armor vibe to it, which I really like. You can see some nice patterning going on here and some of the paintwork going on through it. The rest of the legs are looking pretty alright. Kind of nice and chunky at the bottom. I do like the gold paint applications on it. Kind of reminds me of Skyrim armor a little bit.
Never should have come here.
Now, the feet from the front look alright, but from the back, that's where I have another problem with it. One part of the foot is like this and the other part is upside down. This is intentional for the dragon mode. You'll see how in the transformation. And because of this design, getting him to stand can sometimes be a little bit awkward. The back part of the feet will never be fully flush to the ground. Here's how the back of the figure looks like for you back curious folk. I don't know what I mean by that. This is about as far as I can get this to go in, and I'm just gonna leave it at that. The rest of the back just kind of looks like that. Nothing too special. For articulation, the figure does have articulation. Posing it is just not a whole lot of fun. I can't get very dynamic with it. This headpiece can move up and down. You do get a rotation there. It really cannot turn any more than that. Arms out to the side. Full rotation there. Elbow bend, which doesn't really seem to do much. These hands can hinge out. Full 360 rotation there. If we undo this, we can get a waist rotation, but once this is in, you can't really move it. Legs can move forward, and there is some really weird like wire detail inside that's very interesting. You get a knee bend, rotation. This foot is on a hinge joint. This can kind of move back a bit, and it's on a hinge joint there as well. Now, this knee pad can also move. Along with that, these wings have a hinge joint right here and over here as well, and they can move up and down. So you can kind of position them whichever way you think looks best to you. Now, the figure comes with 3 different accessories. You get this, what is supposed to be a sword. In my opinion, this just does not look that great. You get these 2 dragon heads, which you can push back on these to shoot that out. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. Oh, everything's going wrong. These don't look too bad. The design of the heads up here do look really good. This is once again that flexible material, which I don't like, and it is entirely painted silver. You got some Cybertronian inscription on this side and a bit of teeth detail. In my opinion, these weapons, they're not anything special. These will just peg into his arms like so. They can also attach in the dragon mode. To attach a sword, we open this up. This part pegs into there, and then he just kind of softly and and gently holds it in place, and it doesn't work. This figure does kind of hold up still, but it also feels a little bit dated. So to transform this figure into its dragon mode, we're going to come here, we're going to undo that, and then we'll just bring the head out a bit for now. We can take these shoulder pieces and then fold them in, come to the front and open up this chest piece, and then we'll bring down his head. The joints are a bit tight because I haven't really messed with this figure in a while. Bring that in and then close that up. Now we can turn this head around, and man, that joint is tight. Come down to these horrible excuses for hands, and then we're just going to open this up. This part needs to be the front. Do the same with that. Come down to the legs, flip these out. Same with this one, flip that out. Now we're going to take this leg and then rotate it in like so. We can move that leg out of the way for now. Now we can do the same for the other leg. These do need to tab in together, but before we do that, bring this part of the tail down, and then we can finally tab these pieces together. Rotate this part of the body this way. For the feet, this one just rests there, and then this one just comes up. Now we can bring this leg down. We can adjust those feet. These parts do need to be up like so. Rotate the tail. Take the sword, plug it in there. This becomes the rest of the tail. And we can adjust the wings to our liking. Here's the alt mode for the figure, and he looks kind of cool. The alt mode on this figure isn't the greatest thing either, but it's not the worst. It is very cool to have a dragon alt mode on a figure. He also reminds me of Scourge from Transformers Cybertron. For some reason, transforming this doesn't really give me that sense of satisfaction, probably because it's a more organic shape rather than being a car or a tank, but that's not to say this is bad. Pretty much all the articulation is going to be exactly the same. The design is still very menacing and jaggedy looking. The main thing to go over is the head. Once again, it is that terrible soft plastic. This figure is about 10 years old, and I don't know how long this type of plastic is going to last. We can kind of already see it starting to age a bit, and with my opinion, the way the head is designed, you can't really make out its shape very well. You have some like silver paint to make out where the eyebrow area would be. Other than that, it just looks kind of meh. This can hinge up and down, but it's gotten loose over the years. There is up and down neck movement, and this mouth can open if I can get it to do so. My hands are not very nimble. Open, please. There we go. And overall, if you missed out on this figure at the time, I don't really see a reason to go and buy it.